Alright, this is the Samsung Galaxy S24 Fan Edition. But the question you might be asking yourself is this phone worth your money right now, or should you go for something else? Let's take a look at what this Fan Edition brings to the table. The first thing you notice is the size. It's massive. The Galaxy S24 FE now is larger than its previous FEs. In fact, it's got the same screen size as the lovely S24 Plus that I reviewed earlier at 6.7 inches. This is a great size for watching videos and browsing social media. It's actually very close to the S24 Ultra as well. It's surprisingly massive. And very much like the S24 Plus, it has that squared off design, which also reminds me a little bit of the iPhone, but way lighter. I gotta say, I really like this. It's comfortable to hold, feels secure. I've got the graphite version here, which is very sleek, but perhaps a little bit too understated. When I visited Samsung a few weeks ago, I did get a chance to check out all their pastel color options that they've got there. You've got mint, yellow, blue, and those tones to me really stood out. And I think, they'll be quite popular as well amongst the younger of you out there. Not to someone like me, the middle-aged man that I am, young at heart, as they say. The build quality is solid, with Gorilla Glass Victus Plus at the front and Gorilla Glass 5 on the back, which you could say is what's helping Samsung keep the manufacturing costs down and be able to sell it for $650. But it's actually a grippier material as well, and it looks quite stylish. I might be reaching here. This video is not sponsored by Samsung, by the way. They did send me this to test, but I have to send it back. But let me know what you think. And with IP68 rating, you're safe as well from water, like splashes and things like that, and dust. So no need to worry about that odd splash. Now let's talk about the display. It's a 6.7-inch dynamic AMOLED 2X display, like the S24 Plus. And unlike the iPad mini here that I just got today and I reviewed it earlier, this one has got 120 Hz display, industry standard stuff, Apple. The display similarities with the S24 Plus kind of stop here, right? You get the full HD Plus resolution, so not quite as sharp as the S24 Plus, but still vibrant and pretty colorful with HDR10 Plus support and peak brightness of 1900 nits. So, watching content on this, as you can see here, is way better than I thought it would be. I gotta be honest, I wasn't expecting it. It's pretty good, and side by side with other devices like the latest iPhone 16 Pro even. You can be the judge here, but to my eyes, it looks more than just okay, considering it's the FE version. I turned off adaptive brightness, just left everything on max, and it looks awesome. It holds up outdoors as well, even under bright sunlight. Perfect for watching Netflix and doom scrolling if you're outside, when the sun eventually shows up here. One area where Samsung continues to impress me is Galaxy AI as well. My favorite AI feature, and I've banged on about this for ages in other reviews, is writing assist. It's literally become second nature to me now. It's just something that I use without even thinking now. I can't live without it now, right? Not having a dig at Apple again on this, but well, I am. But we have to give praise to Samsung on this one. There are no limits. No BS about, you have to have a certain Pro model with a certain chip or whatever for it to work. Oh, and by the way, it's only available in a handful of languages now, and maybe in 2025 you're gonna get all the features. In 2026 you might get the full-fledged. It's like Samsung says, right, in their slogan, it's a marketing thing, but it's kind of true. They say AI for all. They're not kidding. Sketch to image and circle to search and some of those more niche AI features can be potentially seen as a little gimmicky, but it's fun and it's available on a $650 device. And things like writing assist actually help me daily, right? It does reduce the time that you spend typing on a tiny screen. So it's nice to see that you get that on the FE without needing to wait until next year or buy a more expensive chip or whatever. There are other AI features like summarizing text as well, which really help you. I don't use that a lot. I have used it, but if you're reading a long article or you go to a website and you just want a quick summary, perhaps you're running out of time to go somewhere, very easy to do now. Just press on the little AI icon and summarize it within seconds, right? Perfect for when you don't have a lot of time. As expected, you've got One UI 6.1 on top of Android 14, which is basically the same experience as the flagship S24 Ultra or even the Fold 6. But like always, Samsung throws in a bunch of apps that kind of overlap with Google's, like another browser, another keyboard, their own store, which I definitely go into just to get good luck, and a few other apps in there to customize your phone, because you won't find those in the Play Store. Outside of that, I think those apps, Samsung should maybe find a way of simplifying that. I don't like those. Way better than it used to be though, which was basically bloatware, but they are now becoming a little bit redundant in my view. Something that did impress me though was the speakers.
If either team misses the target,
That's a miss.
the mission is a failure.
Damn it.
Egress is a steep, high-G climb out to avoid hitting this mountain.
Oh my, they're so loud, and not just loud, they're clear as well. I found out with the S24 Plus too, and I wondered if it's the same hardware here because they sound really similar. I'll do some research on that, and in my next review I'll share more on that, but it sounds amazing. When it comes to performance, under the hood here you've got the Exynos 2400E chipset, which performs great, actually, but don't get me wrong. The reason I'm sighing here is because whenever I say or read the word Exynos, I get shivers down my spine because I had a terrible experience with the S22 Ultra. But so far it's been great, and if you've seen my S24 Plus review, you'll see that they really moved on since 2022. I've noticed the camera is really good on this as well, so maybe that chipset is actually helping the image processing here, which is it's always good, right? I've tried a couple of heavier games as well, and it handled them just fine. I haven't noticed any overheating or any throttling, any drop frames or anything like that, which brings me to the thermals. After longer sessions, like about an hour of gaming, the phone does get a little bit warm, not gonna lie, but nothing to worry about though. It gets to the limit of what I see as acceptable. I think the larger vapor chamber here is helping, keeping things nice and cool. Man, it's not hot. Never hot. I don't know where that came from. Never mind. Moving on to the cameras. The 50 megapixel main sensor here does a solid job. From what I've seen so far, early days, we're getting great contrast, great detail as well, especially in daylight. Awesome, as you can expect from Samsung these days. Is using Samsung's Pro Visual Engine, powered by AI as well. It's all a bit of marketing jargon. In simple terms, you are getting awesome photos here, right? Very low grain, quite sharp images as well, even in low light situations. I haven't really been able to get a lot of shots in low light situations, but from the experience so far, it looks pretty damn good. The 12 megapixel ultra wide is good for those wider shots when you need it, and the 8 megapixel telephoto with 3 optical zoom, it's my favorite. I always love that optical zoom, but if I'm really honest, I do miss the optical 5x zoom, but it's the fun edition, right? It's not long ago, I paid £900, could be $900 in the US, for an iPhone 15 Pro, which only had a 3x zoom as well. You can though zoom up to 20x, but past that is going to start to get a little bit abstract, right? But overall, these cameras for like day-to-day use are definitely a good mix here. And you're into video like me, you can shoot 8K 30 FPS, which is insane really, to get that much from an FE phone is awesome, right? Otherwise, just stick to 4K, which as you can see here is excellent, no issues. Stabilization is solid as well. Now, one of the few things that didn't impress me, at least so far, is the battery life, right? It's kind of okay, nothing amazing. I need to give it a couple more weeks. I always hate kind of reporting on battery on first few days, but it's a 4700 milliamp battery. It will deliver, from my experience so far, about 5 to 6 hours of screen on time, which actually, in my personal experience or my personal situation with the S24 Ultra, isn't far off that 5-6 hours. So that's just my S24 Ultra. I'm not sure what's going on with mine. Everyone else's seems fine. But after a busy long day with this, taking 4K videos, taking lots of photos, I think you are going to need to top it up a little bit in the evening. I'm always carrying some like these batteries anyway. I'll leave a link down below to you. Let me just show you here quickly. Yeah, these are awesome. One is heavier than the other, but I've got so many devices and I can't run out of battery anymore. So those things really help. And if you're always on the go, that's something to consider. Talking about battery, charging is capped at 25 watt, which, again, not amazing. Takes over an hour for a full charge, which feels a little bit slow by today's standards. But again, comparing with other brands out there, it's not that bad. Definitely okay for my daily routine, which is I charge all my devices overnight, but it's just something, again, to bear in mind. So the big question is the Galaxy S24 FE worth buying? At $649 or £649 here in the UK, is not exactly cheap. Gotta be honest, it feels like it could be a little bit cheaper. Samsung though, they always offer some good deals as well from time to time. It could be worth, just keeping an eye on that. It could end up being a steal, especially considering Samsung's 7 years of software updates now. I do wonder though how it stacks up against the S24 Plus or the regular S24, both of which I absolutely loved, especially the S24 Plus. I think that's a killer device. You can check out my review of that phone here. And if you like my stuff, stick around as well. Make sure you're subscribed because I will be comparing these two phones in more detail soon. Leave it a thumbs up as well. It really helps with the algo. And finally, let me know in the comments if you're picking up the S24 FE or you're considering something else now. Cheers.